How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. This is a story from the other day at HMP Lindholme. Right now, prison news, guys, link in the description. What do we think of this, guys? Let me know. Prison officers refuse to take up posts after colleague strangled by an inmate at drug-ridden jail. That could be any jail in England and Wales, guys, but this is Lindholme. Standoff at HMP Lindholme in wake of a warning about prisoners easily obtaining drugs. Prison officers at a drug-ridden jail initially refused to take up their post the morning after one of their numbers was choked unconscious during an attack by an inmate. Staff at HMP Lindholme in South Yorkshire demanded restrictions on prisoners' movements until safety measures could be put in place in the wake of the incident on Thursday night. So it happened on Thursday night and they refused to take up the post on Friday morning. The Ministry of Justice got an injunction and ordered them back to work because they were trying to do, again, guys. Right, look, right, do you know what makes me laugh, right? The Prison Officers Association, right, lobbied for the smoking ban. I keep going on about the smoking ban. It's on top of other things, right? Treatment, conditions, regimes, etc. But they lobbied for the smoking ban, antagonising sleeping prisoners, poking them with a stick, rattling the cage, right? Then when prisoners bite back or fight back, they run to the Ministry of Justice. Look, they're violent. Look at the reasons why prisoners react, they do. For every action, there is a reaction, guys. It fumes me, man. The Prison Officers Association, or the POA, said the jail's governor initially refused their request, demanding they carried on as normal and fully unlocked cells. Officers arriving at work on Friday morning did not immediately take up their posts as they discussed the next steps. The Independent understands. Following an emergency meeting with the governor, they agreed to allow a restricted regime for prisoners until substantive talks are held. Mark Fairhurst, national chair of the POA, said, staff wanted action being taken after two colleagues were attacked on Thursday and one passed out whilst being strangled. The governor wanted to carry on as normal, as if nothing has happened, he told the Independent. But staff deserve to be able to work in a safe environment. Levels of violence have spiked at Lindholme. He said officers wanted inmates to be allowed out of cells only to be given medication until a management plan was put in place. They have staffing problems and shortages, but the main problem is it's ridden with drugs, Mark Fairhurst said. Well, again, your officers are bringing it in on top of other avenues. A spokesman for the Ministry of Justice said staff were on the wings on Friday morning after a short meeting with management. The prison officer who was strangled received medical attention and was due to return to work the next scheduled shift. Probably go on the sick, guys, put a compensation claim in. On Friday afternoon, a relative of one inmate told the Independent prisoners had not been let out of their cells even for a shower. It's ridiculous. I know they are in there to be punished. Well, no, the punishment of prison is losing your liberty, guys. But then they have their human rights, she added. Food has been taken to their cells with no choice of meals, just what they were given. Prison officers walked out across England and Wales in September after the government was given an official warning over deteriorating safety, but the Ministry of Justice sought an injunction against the move after banning industrial action by the jail staff last year. The latest incident came a day after the Prisons and Probation Ombudsman warned that extreme violence was spreading from high-security prisons to low-security establishments. HMP Lindholme itself, a Category C prison that holds more than 1,000 male prisoners, mostly serving sentences of more than 4 years. The most recent report by Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons found the safety of the prison was significantly compromised by the ready availability of drugs and the consequent debt, bullying and violence. Now, the debt, bullying and violence, right, by the Prison Officers Association lobbying for the smoking ban, seen an increase in violence. Why? Because you've taken smoking away from prisoners. Well, you haven't, because it's just become contraband. But by becoming contraband, the price goes up X-fold. Then what does it do? It incurs debt. Where you've got debt, you've got fear, intimidation and bullying and violence. The Prison Officers Association have contributed to record levels of violence in our prisons. But then they want to cry because it gets smashed all over the landings. Look at the reasons why. Prisoners don't just wake up and think, I'm going to smash a prisoner officer head in, or I'm going to choke one out. It's anger, it's frustration, it's because they've either been given a kick in, the regime, the squalid conditions, the treatment. Like I say, there's many mental health, there's so many different factors at play, guys. It identified a key vulnerability as the 3 mile perimeter of the prison, which occupies a former RAF base, is surrounded by homes, fields, footpaths and other public rights of way. Well, all prisons are. Packages of drugs, banned mobile phones and other illicit items have been thrown over the perimeter fence, fished into cells by prisoners using supplied hooks or even flown in using drones. More than 2/3 of prisoners told inspectors it was easy or very easy to get hold of drugs, and 27% they said they developed a drug problem only after going inside. The problem is exacerbated by the fact a fifth of prisoners have links to organised crime. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons said the perimeter was difficult to defend, adding, which is combined with the linkages of so many prisoners to organised crime and their obvious resourcefulness in getting large quantities of drugs into the jail. It means that further progress will be difficult to achieve. There is a question to be asked whether Lindholme is actually a suitable establishment in which it holds its current population. The government named it as one of the 10 prisons with acute problems, in other words, the 10 worst prisons, guys, with high drug use, violence and building issues after announcing a 10 million funding to improve security. That wasn't 10 million for that prison, it was 10 million for the worst performing prisons. 6 million went on security, guys. 3 million went on improvements and 1 million went on staff training. Similar problems were found across the country, including at HMP Chelmsford, where contraband more than £15,000 was seized in a single month. The prison seized 28 drug packages, 44 mobile phones during searches, and 18 parcels that had been thrown over the perimeter wall during the period. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons revealed in a report on Friday other finds of mobile phones, related items, heroin, cocaine, and other drugs were also discovered, it said. The estimated value of the drugs seized during that month alone was more than 15,000. The prison in South Wales holds a large number of men who were connected to organised crime gangs, and they were responsible for much of the supply of illicit items, according to the report. Her Majesty's Inspector of Prisons said levels of violence at the jail were far too high, while the response to self-harm and suicide had been inadequate. Michael Spur, Chief Executive of Her Majesty's Prison and Probation Service, said, "There's a committed team in place who will robustly tackle the issues. We are working closely with the police and healthcare to tackle the supply and use of drugs and reduce violence at the prison," he said. Progress is being made and the problems are being actively addressed. Well, they're not, because Michael Spur is being forced from his job, guys. They've actually taken his job off him. They've removed him from post. He's going to be in post until April 2019, and he's out the door. He sat there, guys, getting on top of his hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of wages. He was pocketing £20,000 bonus, and this prisoner's been dying the whole time, and he's been pocketing it. Disgusting, guys. Vile treatment of prisoners, breach of the human rights, and like I say, prisoners attacking prison officers. Why are they attacking prison officers? Look at the root cause. People see the action. People see the reaction. They don't see the action that causes the reaction. And it's wrong, guys. Let me know what you think about the story. Link in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.